Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. Today's video is going to be all about NYX products. I love NYX products because they're from the drugstore. They are so affordable. And not only that, they perform really well, and I've had great success with a lot of their products. So some of the products that I use and love on a daily basis are the NYX Butter Gloss. This is just one of many colors that I have that I'll be wearing in Creme Brulee. Another product that I absolutely love is the Epic Ink Liner. I'll be using this on my eyelash, well, right above my eyelashes on my lid to make a nice black line. Another one is the NYX Control Freak. I use this to set my brows after I color them in. And one of the newer products that I absolutely love, well, newer to me, is I was using Benefit Brow for the longest time, but it's like $18 and you go through it pretty quickly. So I was looking for something more affordable and I found the NYX. This is Micro Brow Pencil, and this shade, I wanna say is Ash Brown, was the closest to shade 3 in Benefit Brow. So if you're a shade 3, try getting Ash Brown. I love it. It performs just as well as the Benefit at like a fraction of the cost. And the last thing is a newer item to me. I wanted to try their palettes. So I've never tried an eyeshadow palette from them. This will be a first impression. I was curious if they have any fallout, what kind of color payoff they have. This one is called Warm Neutrals. Now I will tell you, I have a cool to neutral undertone in my skin, so I very rarely choose a neutral palette. But this one just caught my eye because it has a lot of mattes and shimmers. I like that it had quite a few light colors and dark colors. So I'm curious to see what this looks like on my skin tone, but it also just looks like it has a great variety of things. So hopefully it has a good color payout and that it doesn't have a lot of fallout. So let's go ahead and get started. I already have my skincare on, my foundation and my concealer, and I can link that all down below if you're curious to what I'm wearing. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start with my eyes. I'm just going to go ahead and take any brush that you like, big fluffy brush. And I'm gonna go in with this color right here. It's more of my skin tone. These are a bit lighter, so these would be good up by my brows. But for right now, I want an all over lid color, so I'm gonna stick with this one and see how these shadows play. This color reminds me a lot of that Wet n Wild Creme Brulee color that is so popular. But I find that one, even though it's a great color, really crumbles and it's almost very chalky. This I'm not finding. This is very smooth and I like the way that this one's going on better. So I think that this is going to replace that eyeshadow for me as a good all over base color. Okay, then I think we're gonna start with doing the outer V. So I'm gonna get a slightly smaller brush and I'm gonna go in and let's do kind of like a, this is almost like a chocolate purple color. It's very pretty. All right, so I'm gonna start by just dragging across the bottom here to create like an outer V. And I'm gonna go up into my crease. And then I'm gonna kind of shade it all together to make it give that V look. It's a very pretty color. I have a little bit of fallout, but not too bad. But I'm also pressing down with a really stiff brush. I didn't have any fallout with the more fluffy brush. So that could be part of the reason why I'm having some fallout with this color. This brush is not very forgiving because it's very, very stiff. But it really helps with being precise and putting it right where you want it because of it being so stiff and small. I don't know if you can see that. This is by e.l.f. It's actually their concealer brush. But I love to use it to do my V just because it's so tiny and it's perfect for this area. But it's not super comfortable to work with because it is a pretty flat peeling brush and stiff. It doesn't really move too much. All right, I picked up a little bit too much on this one, so I'm gonna try to even out both sides of my eyes. And I can always take a big fluffy brush and kind of shade it back together later or buff it together. Look at that. It gives, I'd have to say, a really nice payoff. That really shows up really well. Okay, then I think we're gonna try adding a little bit of shimmer. So I'm trying to see what brush I wanna use. So I'm gonna go with, this one's a little bit more movable and a little bit bigger. So before I actually go in the shimmer, I think I'm gonna go in with this kind of, since I'm sticking with like the purple, so I started with this one. This one's in my crease. I'm gonna go in with this one and kind of go right in the middle here to blend this into my eye before I do any kind of shimmer. All right, so let's just lay it on here. Oh, that's a really pretty color. It's funny, in the pan it looks a little bit darker, but it's almost like a pretty lilac color. Look at that. That blends really nicely. Just gonna lay it on here. It could also be because of the shadow that I have underneath it on my lid is making it a little bit lighter. But either way, it looks really pretty in person. Okay, and then to add my shimmer, I'm just going to take a different brush. It's nice and clean. Sticking with that same color, I'm gonna, or color family, I should say, I'm gonna go in with this kind of like plum shimmer. It's a little bit lighter than plum, but sticking with the same kind of purple theme here. And I'm gonna put it right here in the inside. Of my eye. That's very pretty. It's subtle. It looks more like a sheen. It is not super glittery. So if you are not one that likes super glittery, this is really pretty. I don't know if you can see that. It's more of a sheen. It's so pretty, like a satin sheen. I really like that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a little bit more of that with my fluffy brush. I'm gonna put the same shimmer just to kind of blend and buff. So I'm gonna do circular motions. This up so the line between my V is not so drastic. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Well, I have to say so far, sorry, there's a hair on here. So far, this is very impressive, like for a couple of reasons. It has a good payoff. There is not a lot of fallout. I haven't had any other fallout with any of the normal brushes. The only one I had fallout with was that really stiff brush, which kind of is to be expected. They're all blending really nicely. I feel like the color payoff's really nice, and I'm actually really liking the warm colors on my skin tone. Isn't that pretty? I like how it all blends together. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a big fluffy brush just to get that little part right here that fell out from the stiff brush, and it just swiped right away. All right, I have never done one of these liners, these ink liners on camera before, I don't think. So we'll see how pretty this turns out. I find them to be a little bit harder to work with. I generally use kohl eyeliners instead of. So one thing I found a little bit easier, it's kind of hard to do while talking, is just to lay it down and kind of press it as you go and not drag it. Because I find if I drag it, the line looks really silly. Not too bad. There's a little bit of a gap right there. I haven't had a problem with this smearing. It stays on all day beautifully. I've been really impressed with this liner. It's just not something I wear every single day. Ooh, I just got on my eyelid. Sorry. I'm like super concentrating here since everybody's watching. All right, but it goes on really easy. It's a really fine tip. And like I said, just pressing it along your eyelashes seems to work better than like dragging it. At least I found it easier that way. I already have my blush and my highlighter on. I'll also link that down below if you're curious, but it was not NYX, which is why I did not put it on in this video. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my eyelashes. You know what, I just realized I did not bring a mascara out with me. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to eyebrows since I forgot my mascara. Oh, I didn't do the under. So I have just an angled brush here, whatever one you like. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of color. Anytime that I do a black eyeliner, I feel like it's so bold. I like to add a little bit of color down below. So I think I'm gonna go back in with this deep plum and just kind of add it to make it look like there's some dimension underneath my eye, and then I kind of fade it halfway in, so it's not to make my eye look super tiny. And I have no fallout with the color that time using this angled brush, so it's definitely the stiffer brush that caused that. There was no fallout with that. Okay, so for my brows, the easiest way I found to do my brows is on one side there's a spoolie and on the other side is that thin pencil. I just brush them up until they're natural shape. And then this brow really doesn't need much. There really isn't very many gaps in it, but I like to darken it up just slightly so when I do the other eyebrow it looks a little more cohesive. So you can see the difference between this side and this side. This side needs a little bit more help on this edge here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit here for color, but not much. And then I'm just drawing like hair-like swoops across my face, I guess you could say. So it doesn't look like a line, but it looks more like I actually have hair there. So they look a little bit more polished and put together. And like I said, this ash brown was the closest one to the Benefit shade 3. And then I go ahead and I always top it off with the NYX Control Freak. It sets your eyebrows right in place so they don't move all day. One thing I love about it is, one, it's clear, and two, it doesn't get stiff or anything that I noticed. It doesn't cake, it doesn't flake, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't even feel like, once it's dry, like right now it feels a little wet, but once it's dry, it doesn't feel like you have anything on. But you don't have to worry about, like when you're going to the store and you're trying on shirts, like your eyebrows aren't gonna be like all over the place. It will hold them in place, no problem, doesn't feel like anything different. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead, I haven't used this color before. I picked this up because a lot of people said that they love this color. I actually was using Tiramisu, and I have a couple of other colors that I love in the butter glosses, but this one's Creme Brulee, and it's supposed to be like the most neutral tone. And since I wasn't sure really what color sorry, this palette, since it's being new, is hard to make it. Since I wasn't sure what color I was gonna use before doing this video to do my eye look, I wanted to pick more of like a neutral toned base for my lips, so it wasn't like competing with the eye look. All right, so this is Creme Brulee. I love these glosses. Oh, it's pretty. It's like a neutral light pink. It's a little bit lighter than Tiramisu. It's almost like one of the perfect nudes. Very nice color, sorry. I can see why a lot of people like this color. It's like the perfect nude look. All right, so a little bit about these glosses. One of the reasons why I love these butter glosses is they're not sticky. I love that they last for a pretty decent amount of time, in my opinion. What else about them? They don't really have anything else. If you want to see this color, they have a wide range of like wide range of different colors. And I really like them. They're really affordable. Here's the color on my skin. You can see it on my lips. But I really like it. So overall, NYX is a fantastic company. Like, I really like their products. They're really affordable. You can find them at pretty much any drugstore, Target, Amazon even sells them. And I'm really impressed with this palette. I know that they have other ones as well. Like I said, I just decided to pick up the warm neutrals because of it having such pretty colors and a wide variety of flats, well, mattes, flats, shimmers. I don't think flats is a word. But it just has a beautiful, I think, array of colors. So that's my overall tutorial on NYX. I'm curious if you have any NYX products that I have not used that you love. If you could share them down below, because I would love to know what other products you've tried from this brand that you love that maybe I haven't tried yet, or something that you want to recommend would be fantastic. So I thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so and share this with a friend who you think might like it. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.